Is your money in the wrong place? Exploring alternatives to big banks. Warning: your money might be losing value in the wrong account. Are you tired of watching your savings stagnate in a low-yield bank account? You're not alone. A growing number of Americans are waking up to the realization that their hard-earned cash deserves better. They're breaking free from traditional checking and savings accounts, seeking out higher-yield alternatives that can keep pace with inflation. But here's where it gets interesting. This shift isn't just about chasing higher interest rates. It's a broader rethinking of long-term financial security. The Great Savings Migration. What's driving it? According to a revealing analysis by the J.P. Chase Institute, which tapped into data from 4.7 million Chase households, there's been a steady rise in cash held in higher-yield financial vehicles, even among lower-income earners. Households earning less than $35,000 per year saw their total cash balances grow at an average annual rate of 5% to 6%. This strategic movement of money signals a growing awareness among savers about how to protect and grow their savings in today's high-interest rate environment. The perfect storm: higher interest rates, inflation, and financial savvy. Higher interest rates. The Federal Reserve's rate hikes have made traditional savings and checking accounts less appealing, with many banks offering yields as low as 0.01% to 0.10%. In contrast, money market accounts and CDs are delivering returns of over 4% in some cases. Beating inflation. With persistent inflation eroding the value of money over time, consumers are seeking investment income accounts to preserve and potentially grow their purchasing power. More financial savvy. After years of financial uncertainty, Americans are becoming more intentional with their money management, leveraging budgeting apps, online financial tools, and social media education to make informed decisions. Where are savers putting their money for better returns? Explore these popular alternatives to traditional bank deposits. Money market funds, offering liquidity and competitive yields, ideal for emergency savings and short-term cash. Brokerage accounts, providing access to ETFs, dividend slots, and bonds for longer-term investment income, but with market risk. Certificates of deposit, CDs, safe and predictable, but with limited flexibility due to early withdrawal penalties. High-yield savings accounts, HYSAs, online banks offering rates upwards of 4%, significantly higher than most brick-and-mortar institutions. Weighing the pros and cons of higher-yield accounts. Lower interest rates. The Federal Reserve suspension has made these high wages significantly higher than most traditional savers. Federal Reserve's rate hikes have made traditional savings less appealing. Lack of FDIC insurance in some investment vehicles. What does this mean about the economy? This movement reflects growing consumer confidence and a willingness to engage more proactively with financial tools. While some Americans remain cautious, this show indicates a desire to make their money work harder, not just save it. Total cash reserves haven't disappeared. They're being reallocated, showing that consumers still value liquidity, especially during uncertain times. Should you move your cash for better returns? It depends on your financial goals, risk tolerance, and the effort you're willing to put into optimizing your savings. If your current account earns less than 1%, it's time to shop around. Consider online banks and credit unions offering competitive rates with no monthly fees or minimums. Reflect on your timeline. For short-term goals, a HSA or money market account might be best. While for long-term goals like retirement, a diversified brokerage account could make sense, provided you're prepared for market fluctuations. The final check. Before making a move, ensure your emergency fund is intact and your financial basics are covered. Then you can start optimizing for yield. So we ask you, are you ready to make your money work harder? Share your thoughts on the best saving strategies in the comments below. Why more Americans are moving money to investment accounts in 2025. What it means for you. Here's a shift that could redefine how we view financial resilience in America, and it's hiding in plain sight. New research from J.P. Chase Institute reveals a stealthy strategy sweeping households, turning everyday bank accounts into investment powerhouses. But why now? And could this trend upend how we manage money altogether? For years, economists scratched their heads over a financial paradox. Consumers kept spending despite stagnant savings. Now, data from 4.7 million households cracks the code. Instead of hoarding cash in low-yield checking or savings accounts, which still show flat growth since mid-2024, Americans are flocking to higher return options like brokerage accounts, money market funds, and CDs. The result? Total cash reserves, including these new investments, are climbing toward pre-inflation trends, explains JP Morgan Chase Institute President Chris Wheat. The glittering promise versus the cold reality. High-interest environments lure even the most cautious savers. But here's the twist. People aren't just stashing funds long-term. They're using these accounts as active cash managers, not passive investments. It's the equivalent of upgrading from a parked car, checking, to a Zam Speedster. Investments. Income divides still matter. Households earning less than $35K saw total cash growth spike 5 to 6% annually, though this group holds just over $1K in basic accounts. Meanwhile, higher earners with median balances above $8K are diversifying aggressively. But will this trend last? Wheat warns it may be fleeting, leaving us unsettled. Are we witnessing a groundbreaking economic adjustment or a temporary dash for short-term gains? The million-dollar question. Why risk lesser accessibility for investment returns? Simple math. If a standard savings account pays 0.1%, but a money market gives 4%, the difference compounds, yet risks linger. Is liquidity worth short-term growth? Where do you park your extra cash? Share your strategies in the comments. Is this bold shift worth the trade-off for you? Why more Americans are investing. Insights and concerns. A growing trend signals an increasing shift in U.S. financial behavior, as evidenced by rising investments in accounts offering returns beyond traditional savings. A Maryland accounting professor shares concerns after research from JP Morgan Chase Institute, https Concordia Card 37 test, 4.7 million households now hold cash reserves, rising since mid-2024, comprising brokerage accounts, money market funds, and CDs. These trends suggest heightened confidence in the economy, as noted by Professor J.P. Crahell, who argues that such investment reflects a democratization of finance through platforms like Robinhood and Acorn. However, he warns that this shift introduces risks, particularly for those unable to afford losses during market downturns. His two main concerns center around two critical issues. One is the potential for unexpected financial strain due to high-risk investments, and another is the growing burden of credit card debt, which averages $6,065 per household. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, Crahell emphasized that managing debt requires careful planning, as credit card interest rates often exceed the guaranteed tax-free return on investments. To navigate this, he recommends prioritizing paying off existing debts before committing to new financial strategies. Additionally, young adults are encouraged to start saving and investing early, as these actions can build long-term wealth and retirement goals. He suggests learning financial literacy through courses and analyzing company reports to make informed decisions. Ultimately, Crahell encourages individuals to approach investments with caution and curiosity, recognizing that sometimes even small actions yield significant results.